In this video, we're going to discuss how to create a background image for your page, for your web page, or for a container or an element in your web page. So what we have here is we have a very simple web page with just some text. We have a header section with a div, and what we want to do is we want to put a background image around this header, and the background image is right here, background.jpg. So we want to put that image behind the header, which is what you see in a lot of websites today. So what we're going to do first is we're going to select the header. So then we could start to put the background image. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the background image property. And then we're going to select our image, which is there, background.jpg. Now, as you can see, the image is there, but it's not really showing us the way that we want it to be. We basically want it to be covering the whole area. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this other property called background size, and we're going to set it to cover. And now we're also going to set the height of the header to be 100% of the viewport area. So once we do that, now we could see the image taking up the whole available space. And if we resize, actually see here the image is not really moving. So what we can do is we want to put the image in the center of the header. So then no matter how we resize the page, it's always going to have the center there. So we're going to use the property called background position, and we're going to say center. And now we have the image in the center of the header element. Now the other thing that we're going to do is we can also add a little effect where we put a gradient on the image. So a lot of the time many web pages have a little bit of a darker background image, and they can kind of put like make it sort of a shade of black, and that way the text really stands out on it. So we can do the same thing here. What we're going to do is we're going to use the linear gradient function on the background image property. So that's right here on this property. We're going to now add a linear gradient function. So we're going to do that like this, linear gradient. And what we're going to do is we have to give it an RGB color. So let's say we're going to give it black, so that's 0, 0, 0, and then the last argument is a transparency value. So we're going to say 0.7 transparency. That's going to be the at the top. That's going to be the kind of the overlay at the top, and then we also have to give another value. It'll be the same at the bottom. So it'll be like that. Now we lost our image, so let me bring that back here. Just give me a second. That's going to be URL, and oops. There we go. So let me just bring that here so you could see. Okay, so now this background JPEG, we're applying this linear gradient, and we could actually play with this. Like for instance, see, I made it just 17%. I could make it 27%. So I'll leave it at and maybe I'll make it a little lighter, 17 here and 17 here. So you see how that lightens it up? So now what we have is we have a background image with a gradient that's taking up the entire section of the header, and it covers the entire screen. No matter how we resize the screen, it's still keeps the background image centered.